Alright, so we're recording. This is actually the second time I've tried to film this video. The first time, I don't know what happened, but OBS suddenly decided that it's gonna overload for the first time ever, and half of my footage was rendered at 1 frame per 5 seconds. So, yeah, that's unfortunate. But on the bright side, some new information came out after that, so I've incorporated it into this take. Let's see how that goes. Welcome to the 4th episode of DecaNews. Yeah, I know the last one was like, 3 days ago, but trust me, I got a bunch of new information. Most of this information was gathered over like 2 evenings in Discord. And it's a lot of info. I've been talking with some developers and other people have found some stuff. This is a big one. Trust me. Maybe I should have just waited that little bit longer and then just made this number 3, you know? Oh well. Alright, anyway, let's go through all of it. First thing I want to cover is the DecaMove dev tools. A few people found some of these. Turns out they were available the whole time at deca.net/DecaMove. One of the things they found, which is actually no longer there right now, is a quick start guide. This was found under deca.net/DecaMove/start. Next thing is that the DecaMove is updated using an app for iOS or Android. There's a QR code available, which unfortunately does not work. It just takes you to the root of the Google Play Store instead of the app itself. And for those of you wondering, there is going to be a PC updating option as well. But there was a lot of information coming out about the Bloggers Edition development. So the CEO put out an update saying that the DecaMove standalone, meaning without the headset, just on its own, is ready to go. They've worked out all the bugs and everything's ready to go. There's even some new features. So first thing, it works up to 10 meters away with a stable connection.
So imagine there's a down power line right here, and this is 10 meters away. It's further than you'd think. It's about the length of a yellow school bus.
You're not gonna have distance issues with this thing. Next up, there's haptic motors in this thing, so you'll be able to have a small sensation of touch at the waist, which is actually pretty cool. I didn't even know that was in there. You can have an optional overlay in your game with a battery indicator and a arrow telling you which direction the DecaMove is faced in. So that's very useful for getting used to the DecaMove. And the most interesting thing is that the DecaMove is now supported on a platform level, which means that in one step, they support most of the Steam VR games out there. That's like actually really impressive. They're gonna come out with a list of games that they've tested in a little bit. I don't know when, they just said that they would. Next thing's up, shipping. Like I said, DecaMove is ready to go. So that means that the shipping, assuming they can get the quality assurance testing out of the way and completed and all that, as soon as next week. So yeah, that's like really cool, and I cannot wait to like see what YouTubers have to say about this. Thrill Seeker, MRTV, Virtual Reality Oasis, just whoever's getting one of these things. Next up, we have a new picture of the DecaMove controllers. This is from their LinkedIn page. So a few things about this image. First off, it's got colored lights. So that makes me think, okay, maybe this is like visible light, like a Windows mixed reality controller, but at the same time, infrared would be much more efficient in terms of like power consumption. And technically, infrared can show up on a camera if you're using like a smartphone camera or something with like a small little lens. And I just want to mention like one thing about these colored lights. You'll notice that the left one is colored red, the right one is colored blue. Sound familiar? That's just such a cool little touch, and I love it so much. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but if it was, kudos. And I said in the second video that it looks a lot like Tron, and I'm glad to see that the devs see that too. Again, I really hope that I can get that with a pattern exposed, because I just love that so much. So the next thing up is a new accessory. It's called the Decapan. So it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a VR pen. This is not the first VR pen. There's some others out there, such as the Wacom VR pen and the Logitech VR Ink, but it is the first one to be inside-out tracked. And it's going to use similar tracking to the controllers, although it might use a different ring. Next up is what puts the games in Megadodo simulation games, the Deca MMO. This was like teased at the very beginning of all of this stuff. As far as I know, it's been put on the back burner, but there is a website available, megadodogames.com/index.html. It's an outdated site. I wouldn't recommend using it as like a solid source of information. But there's one thing I want to mention about it, is that it mentions licensing out the Deca gear to other manufacturers. And I asked the dev about it. He says it isn't planned, but it is something to mention. You know, just take it with a grain of salt, I guess. We also found out more information about Deca itself. It's an acronym, of course, and it stands for Diversified Evocative Communal Airspace. It's a sci-fi MMO, and we actually have some logos, such as this one featuring the full name. I really like this style. It's got like that retro-futuristic Tomorrowland look. I'm in love with it. And there's also some other images from their site. And the last thing I want to cover is the fact that Deca is going to be selling direct-to-consumer. So it's a similar thing to like Tesla, where they don't sell it through other stores, they just sell it direct to you. This information was found in the pre-order agreement under the Don't Resell section, otherwise known as the Don't Be an Asshole section, proving once and for all that you should absolutely read anything you have to sign. This gave me an idea that I just kind of threw out there on the Discord about Deca advertising the Deca gear at the next virtual market. So if you don't know what virtual market is, it's a thing that VR Chat hosts like every 6 months or so, where people can advertise their own digital assets, and you can buy it directly from there, which is actually really neat. And I really love just like going around those and just like seeing what there is. This idea was inspired by HP's booth at the last VCAT, because they had a booth there, and one of the things they had there was a digital model of their latest headset, the HP Reverb G2. Now, I've always wanted a company to do something like this, you know. What better place to advertise a VR headset than in VR itself, you know? And I think this gives like a really cool opportunity to like pick up the headset, look around it, you know, see how big it is, things like that. And I've noticed that one of the requirements pretty much for VCAT booths is that you have to be selling some sort of digital model asset. So the idea I had was that they could sell the virtual model of the Deca gear while advertising the real one. Again, just an idea, but it would be something that I would absolutely love to see them do.
Okay, so while editing, there was some new developments that happened, so I'm just gonna go through those real quick. The first thing is that in the blog update, there's a picture of the DecaMoves ready to ship, and in the background you can actually see the PCB for the Deca gear. We can determine that, at least on the headset, I'm not sure about the computer, the specific cables used is a mini DisplayPort cable and a USB Type-C cable. Second thing is someone found a YouTube comment that said that they are going to implement the ability to turn face tracking on or off. And the third thing is that the developers of Natural Locomotion are implementing support for the DecaMove. So Natural Locomotion is some sort of VR tool that uses inverse kinematics to determine walking. So you basically swing your arms to move forward, and you can swing them faster or slower and stuff like that. Anyway, that's pretty much it, so back to other me.
Anyway, that's all for this video. Big thanks to the devs for just being so open and friendly. I haven't met a friendlier dev team in like a long time, possibly ever. I got lots of info from them, and they were really fun to talk to, as well as just everyone on the Discord in general. Shoutouts to you guys. I always have fun when I'm in there. Anyway, that's it for now. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.